Alright, so this video is going to be about how you can avoid phantoms in Minecraft, and I guess one of these is also, dealing with them instead of avoiding them, but I just thought I would add like any way that you can get rid of them in this video because why not? But yeah, so yeah, I've seen a lot of people talking about how they don't like phantoms and how they hate phantoms so much that phantoms should be removed from the game and whatever, but it's like, are you, like, what are you doing to have it where phantoms are this annoying though? Like, I rarely have to deal with phantoms. Like, I don't know if it's like the way that I play or something, but I like never have to deal with phantoms, so I don't know what you guys are doing, but you know, phantoms aren't really a big deal for me, so I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, so I just thought I would make this video for all the people that I guess always have to deal with phantoms. So yeah, let's get on with it. Alright, so the first thing I have here is that you can play an older version of Minecraft before the phantoms were added. You could play the version that was like right before the phantoms got added, or basically any of the versions before that. I do have a video about how to play older versions of Minecraft. That should still work, because I made that video kind of a while ago, but yeah, I think that video should still work if you try to go to an older version of Minecraft. Um, I don't think it would work on PlayStation or Xbox or whatever other console version, but if you're playing on PC, I think both Java and Bedrock would work with that method because, when I played that, or when I did that video, it was back when I mostly played Java. I still mostly play Java, but I do actually have a version where I can play Bedrock now, and I think that should also work for Bedrock on PC too. Um, yeah, you can try that, see if it works on both Java and Bedrock still, and yeah, if you wanna play an older version, then there's that option. But if you wanna keep playing newer versions and keep getting like updates and stuff, then you can do these other methods that I have here in the next part of the video. So yeah, let's get into those next methods. The next point I have here is cats. If you have a cat in your base or wherever you're at, then the phantoms should stay away. They will still spawn, but they should stay away from the area that the cat is in. They should stay about 16 blocks away, so, they'll still be up there flying around and like screeching and whatever, but they won't come down and try to hit you if you're around a cat. So if you go find a cat and tame it and then bring it back to wherever you want it to be, and then you can just have a cat like every 16 blocks or so, and then the phantoms should leave you alone. Again, they'll still probably spawn, but you know, I have a world where I have a cat in my little thing that I built, and the phantoms didn't come after me, so yeah. I have at least one cat there. I should probably get more cats in that world, and then other worlds I have, I'll probably do the same where I have a cat in each place that I build a base at. Usually I only have like one or two bases, but the one world that I kind of want to have as like a forever world type of thing, I have like three different places. So yeah, I need to get more cats for the other places, but you know, just have some cats around and yeah. Or you can go to a village. Usually there's cats in villages, and then you can tame those, keep it in whatever village or house that you steal. Because usually when you find a village, then you usually just steal one of their houses. So you could do that, or if you build a house and then you can just have a cat in there, and yeah. So Again, they'll still spawn, but they should stay away from you if you are by a cat. So, yeah, I think cats also keep creepers away, I believe. Unless they like change that at some point, but I think there was a whole thing where creepers would run away from cats. I would have to check that again, but I think that's still a thing, or is a thing or something. I don't remember completely, but yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next point that I have here. So this next one should be kind of obvious, is that you can go sleep. For some reason, people really hate when you tell them to just go sleep to get rid of phantoms. Like, it's not that hard to do, you know? You just have to go have a bed somewhere and then go to sleep. Like, it's not that hard, you know? I mean, some people do like to have it where they can do a bunch of stuff at night and whatever, but at the same time, like, you know, it's usually like phantoms spawn. I think it's like after 3 nights. So if you go to sleep at like the third night, then whatever. You know, you have 2 nights there that you can do whatever, and then on the third night or the fourth night or some shit, then you can just sleep. So like, I don't know. Like, what's the problem with sleeping? Like, I don't know. Yeah, like, you can also make multiple beds too, and then have beds in different places. So if you really are worried about having your spawn and like being able to, if you die, then you can spawn back close to where you died, then it's just like, just have a bed near where you might die, I guess. So, I don't know. But yeah. Usually I'm just like, oh, it's been a while, I'm just gonna go sleep, or I wanna have it where it's bright outside, I'm just gonna go sleep, and yeah, I don't really have to deal with phantoms that much because I just go to sleep, or I do something underground, and then I don't have to deal with phantoms then either, but that'll be the next point, so let's go to that point, I guess. So yeah, the next one is if you go mining at night, then you don't have to deal with phantoms because you'll be underground, and that way you don't have to deal with phantoms because they, even if they spawn, then you'll just be underground, and then they won't see you or whatever. They won't be able to swoop down and hit you or do anything. They'll just be circling in the air all night, and you'll be just fine underground if you go mining. And then also you can find all sorts of things underground if you want to. And yeah, usually I have like a bunch of different whatevers where I go mining. So I have like a bunch of different like tunnels and stuff where I go mining and I find all sorts of things. And like, mining is kind of something you have to do in Minecraft if you're playing like survival and stuff. Like, you can't just not go mining. So, you know, this is kind of an easy way to do that if whatever. And if you find mining kind of boring because you're just digging, then you could just like have a video off to the side as you're mining. Like, I'll just have YouTube on my other screen, and then I'll be watching a video as I'm mining and whatever. So, yeah. But also, the next thing I have kind of goes with this in a way, but also at the same time, not really. So, yeah, let's go to the next thing I have here. So, yeah, this next one kind of goes with the mining part because I guess having a solid block over your head makes it so phantoms don't spawn. I guess that seems to be the whole thing. And I have had it where I would be underground and then I'd come back up and there'd just be no phantoms at all. Like, whether or not I had slept in the last like few nights in Minecraft, like, I still would come up out of the mining place that I was at and there'd still be no phantoms. So I guess, I think it people also kind of said that even if it's like semi-solid, I guess would also work. So I guess if you had leaves over your head, but I think if you have glass over your head, they'll still spawn. But if you have like a leaf block over your head, then they won't spawn, I guess. I guess you could test that and see if that actually works. But I guess having a solid block over your head makes it so they don't spawn. I don't know if I haven't really like tested this for 100%, but I have had it where I would come out of where I was mining and then there'd be no phantoms. So, yeah, I guess this is another thing then. So, yeah, I guess you can try that. And yeah, let's go to the next thing I have here. Alright, the next one is be under sea level, which I guess also kind of goes with mining, because the phantoms can't spawn under sea level, I guess. So, if you go under sea level, I guess they won't be able to spawn or come after you or whatever. So I guess if you dig a hole underneath sea level, then they can't spawn or they can't come after you. So yeah, it kind of still again goes with the mining thing, I guess, in a way, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess if you have a little thing underwater that you can live in, and then they won't come after you then either. So, I guess that's another way you can do that. So, yeah, I guess it's just another way to avoid them. So, yeah, I actually never tried this other than, I guess, going mining, but even then, if I go mining, then they're not gonna spawn anyways, I guess. So, I don't know. But you can see if it works, I guess, and try it, and I don't know. But yeah, anyways, let's go to the last thing I have here. So yeah, this last one isn't really avoiding them, but you know, just kill them, I guess. They're not really that hard to kill, especially if you're on PC. I guess on console, it might be a little harder with controller, because I actually started playing Minecraft on the PlayStation again recently, and it is a little harder to play on on the controller. Even though I grew up playing on the controller, like I started playing PlayStation when I was a very small child, and I'm in my 20s now, so you know, you'd think it might actually be a little easier, but also at the same time, I kind of took a break from playing PlayStation games, so like PC might actually be easier now, because yeah, I kind of stopped playing PlayStation for a little bit there, and yeah, but I did kind of find it a little hard to go back to PlayStation for Minecraft because I don't know, like the trying to look around is a little slow. I feel like maybe I can change that in the settings. I don't remember, but yeah, like looking around using a controller is a little bit harder in PlayStation Minecraft because it's kind of slow when you turn. So I guess if you're playing on console, killing them might be a little harder because they're kind of fast. But if you're playing on PC, I feel like a lot of people play on PC. But at the same time, I actually is the percentage of players for Minecraft higher on console? Like, does anyone know that? Like in the comments, someone could maybe say that, or I could just look it up after this video. But I feel like maybe I heard somewhere that console is higher percentage of players. Maybe, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, killing them, if you just have like an iron sword, you just have to whack them a few times when they dive at you, or if you are good at using a bow and arrow, or the other, whatever, I always forget what the other bow and arrow is called, but yeah, if you have one of those, then you could shoot them out of the sky if you're good at that. So, yeah, it's really not that hard to kill them if you have a sword and they swoop down at you because they come after you anyways, so you can just easily hit them. Um, Also, I've had it where they get stuck on stuff and then you can just hit them because they're stuck on something. Like if you have a fence and then they'll get stuck on the fence. Like I've had that happen. Um, so it's not that hard to hit them, especially if they get stuck on like a fence or something, or if you have like some other sort of thing that you built, and then they can get stuck on that, and then you can just hit them with the sword. So or an axe, because I think if you have an axe, it does do more damage. I think it does a little bit more damage than a sword. So, like if you have an iron sword and an iron axe, then I think the axe does like a little bit more damage. I would have to check that again, but yeah, so again, I know killing them isn't really avoiding them, but it's just like, it's not that hard to just kill them. So, I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, I guess that's it for this video because that was the last thing I had for this video. So yeah, I guess bye then.